The Oppo Reno 3 Pro is one of the successors to the Reno 2, a very interesting device that I reviewed on the channel earlier. Previous Reno 2 came with a very unique shark fin pop-up camera that a lot of people loved and really felt was unique. The new Reno 3 Pro comes with a dual front-facing camera setup in the trendy wide punch hole cutout. The Reno 3 Pro is one of three among the new Reno series for 2020. In addition to the Reno 3 Pro, we've got the Oppo Reno 3 Pro 5G, which is mostly identified by its singular hole punch cutout. Then the Reno 3, which has a water drop notch camera section going for it. Today is the launch day for the Oppo Reno 3 series in Nigeria right now. Just the Reno 3 and 3 Pro, which I have here, and I was one of the two people who were asked to check it out. Due to the pandemic, there couldn't really be a proper launch event, but I'll try as much as possible to share all the information I can here in this video and on my social media platforms, which you can find with the links in the description below. Do follow me there as well. In this video, we'll be looking at the Oppo Reno 3 Pro, unboxing it, and giving you guys a quick review. I'll share my immediate impressions and thoughts about this device with you guys. Do also like this video and drop a comment with what you'd love to see next as you watch this video, as this also helps us get to more people that way here on YouTube. Without further ado, let's get to the video. When you open the box of the Reno 3 Pro, the first thing you see is a mini box, and inside that is where we have our SIM ejector tool in front. Then we have the Oppo Reno 3 quick guide, the safety guide, and soft flexible case. Underneath that mini box is the Reno 3 Pro itself, and we'll be getting to it in a bit. Beneath the device itself is a paper separating the accessories. We have a 30-watt VOOC 4.0 fast charger with green accents on the port, USB-C cable with green accents, and Oppo gives you headphones also with green accents. The green accents are not necessarily new, but I really love how well they are incorporated here. On the front of the Reno 3 Pro, we've got a wrap around the device stating all the specs that we get. 44 megapixel dual punch hole camera, 64 megapixel quad camera with 20x zoom, ultra clear 108 megapixel image, 64-inch super AMOLED screen, and the 30-watt VOOC flash charge 4.0. Taking the wrap off the device itself, the variant I have here is the midnight black version. As far as colors, we've got the aurora blue, sky white, and of course midnight black, which is our version here. It does look pretty elegant. It's black, but it doesn't just look like any kind of black. Then there's the aurora blue, which I held, and when I held it, I felt it was really amazing to look at, and the way the gradient sprouts from the lower end to the top of the device makes it look really nice. The Reno 3 took 1 minute and 30 seconds to be fully set up without any additional settings put in place, and this ushers us into ColorOS 7 based on Android 10, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later in this video. The punch hole style display with the cameras become more prominent when the device is turned on, and it's just like what we saw on Samsung's S10 Plus flagship device, only that it's on the opposite side. This, in my opinion, and many others, look more preferable to the notch. As far as build quality on the Reno 3 Pro, we've got a Gorilla Glass 5 protection for the screen, and it's really lightweight, 175 grams as displayed on the official website, and when you add a default case on it, it gets up to 194 grams. Still not as heavy as many flagships on their own. This in major part is because the back of the device is plastic. On top of the Reno 3, we've got a microphone. The right side houses the power button, and I like that it's also colored again with green accents. On the left side, we've got the volume rockers and SIM slot. Here we've got a dual SIM situation, and you can house a micro SD card in addition to those two SIM cards. Oppo still keeps the headphone jack. As we see, we've got a headphone in the box, another microphone below, USB-C port, and speaker. The back of the Reno 3 Pro has a 2020 style camera array where it's a more wider rectangle housing that protrudes with all the back camera elements in and the Oppo branding beneath. It's unlike the Reno 3 though, which has the flash separate from the raised section. The front of this device basically houses a 44 megapixel selfie camera and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. Structurally, it's really different from the Reno 2's shark fin style, and I'm kind of torn. Which one do you prefer? Please comment below. For a price of $430 or 157,000 naira, this device on the outside does look appealing, but what if we head inside? Down to the technicalities of the display on the Reno 3 Pro, we're looking at a super AMOLED display here compared to a normal AMOLED display on the Reno 3. We're looking at a 6.4-inch display, it's 7.4% screen to body ratio, with a display resolution of 1080 by 2400 and a PPI of 405, which is quite high. At a resolution of 1080 by 2400 pixels, the Reno 3 Pro does seem plenty sharp when you are watching videos on YouTube and streaming at 1080p. And Netflix was also super high res, and we had the video wrapping around the punch hole. Of course, there's no HDR on this device, but it does hold its weight when you look at many of the available mid-rangers, and that punch hole doesn't bother me as much or distract my viewing. Speaking of that cutout, as far as my usage, I've not had any adverse or negative effects with it being a distraction. With ColorOS 7, the Reno 3 comes with dark mode, which works across board. It works in all native apps seamlessly, and it looks really cool in my opinion because it's an OLED, so it maximizes this feature. I watched somewhere that it works on all 200 of the most used apps on the Play Store. Oppo provides you with a generous 256GB of storage and an 8GB RAM with the Reno3 Pro. There's also a 128GB version with the same RAM. Oppo went with MediaTek P95, a 12nm octa-core processor, 8 cores split in 6 and 2, clocked at 2.2 GHz in terms of speed. I found it very smooth with running both 2D and 3D games. There was no lag at all during my usage, which was positive. Oppo's devices usually have a bunch of privacy features out the box, and ColorOS 7 offers 4 main new features, which include multi-user mode. If you've been following the channel, you know that we've reviewed spaces on the Xiaomi devices. Well, here you can create up to 5 independent spaces for users, sub-users, and visitors with password protection. You also get kid space if you want your child to have access to a smartphone but protect their identity and privacy for them. This way you can set a time limit on your phone's usage, stop them from changing main phone settings, and so on. ColorOS 7 also has Aussie visual effects for improved picture saturation and contrast effects. It's also got Dolby Atmos that enhances the sound when you plug in your headphones, and finally dark mode, which we've talked about. The Reno 3 comes with a 4025 mAh battery, and in the box a 30-watt fast charger that's supposed to get to 100% in less than an hour, a little over 50 minutes, and even more impressive, it should get up to 75% in 30 minutes. This reminds me of the Mi Note 10, which I reviewed earlier, that also comes with a 30-watt fast charger. I will be doing more testing and sharing my results on Twitter, so do watch out for that and follow up with the conversation. I'll have my handles linked in the description below. Like many modern mid-rangers in 2020, we have an in-display fingerprint reader coupled with face unlock. They will work pretty fast, and I had no complaint in this department. Oppo has teased 108 megapixels in a lot of their communication about this device, but there's no specific 108 megapixel lens on this device. Instead, from the front, we've got a 44 megapixel front-facing sensor with a 2 megapixel depth sensor camera. Then on the back, we've got from the top to the bottom the 13 megapixel telephoto lens, the 64 megapixel main camera, 2 megapixel mono lens, and 8 megapixel ultra wide lens. Taking selfies with that 44 megapixel lens, the images looked really sharp, and when you look at portrait mode, it's also the same. You want to make sure you've turned off beauty mode before you take each shot, as that tends to over smoothen things, unless you're probably into that for some reason. Just like almost every mid-range smartphone, when you tap on the brightest parts of the images, you also get a relatively warmer or more balanced picture compared to the normal mode when you're the subject in focus. I like that portrait mode also translates to the other subjects apart from faces. When I took photos that were close to the camera, the background blur was cool even if it wasn't 100% accurate. It's also more on the cooler side of things. I don't think you would be disappointed if you get this phone for the photos. It's pretty sharp and also handles background blur well so far in my testing. It's almost hard to find anywhere with 108 megapixel inscription on this device. To get to the 64 megapixel mode, that can be done by clicking the option on the hamburger menu at the top right, and the 64 megapixel option appears for you. Now remember, we mentioned 108 megapixels. Well, to get to that, you'll need to go to the Expert or Pro settings and toggle it on. You toggle on Ultra HD. Well, I took a shot of this book from my waist level, and while I was standing, then I zoomed and the text was just so clear. This image, by the way, was 26 megabytes. Another example was just my plain old rug, which when zoomed in, you begin to appreciate the amazing features of this smartphone. I'll say for a fact that 64 megapixels and 108 megapixels on this device have been cool, and I can't wait to test it out more. Photos in the 8 megapixel ultra wide mode don't look as sharp, but they do capture a lot in frame. However, this low resolution quickly dissipates when you switch to the main lenses or the main 64 megapixel camera. The 30 megapixel telephoto delivers as well, and this is how it looks in 2x, 5x, and all the way up to 20x. Still retaining some of the detail when we look at how far we've come. The camera also has ultra night mode, and I quickly did a snap with what I saw or an interpretation of it versus what I got with ultra night mode on. It was decent. Like many high-end and some good mid-range devices, you get fast focus with the camera and auto contrast adjustment when the lens sees a really bright object by dimming and a dark object by brightening. That's just default. The back camera also has electronic image stabilization, so shaking hands will not translate into videos. Only the Reno3 Pro 5G has optical image stabilization. AI modes function as expected, where you can quickly identify objects and it tunes it for you. And one cool thing they also have is video blur, which Oppo recommends to only shoot with one person in frame for optimal effects. How's it going, guys? This is the front facing camera video quality of the Oppo Reno3 Pro. Let me know what you guys think about this front facing camera's video quality. So this is a 44 megapixel front facing selfie camera, and it's got a 2 megapixel depth sensor for photos. As you've seen the picture quality tests that I've just recently done, that's the effect of that in those shots. But yeah, from what I can tell, this shot looks a bit grainy, even as there's a lot of light in the room right now. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about this front facing camera's video quality. Is it something you like? And also the sound quality as well. Let me know what you think about those in the comment section below. Alright guys, so that's it for my quick review of the Oppo Reno 3. What do you think about this device? And for the price of $430 or 157,000 approximately, would you buy it based on what you've seen now? Do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do hit that like button if you found this video useful. I'd also appreciate it if you could hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications by hitting the bell icon, so you'll be the first to know when I upload a new video. Lastly, if you're a creator and you want to use music for your creative projects, your videos or short films to upload on YouTube, I use Musicbed, and it's a great service you can use for videos as well. You can try it for free for 30 days with my link below and use amazing songs like the ones I use for my intros, my videos, and depending on your channel size, you pay for a subscription fee starting as low as $9.99 or 3,630 naira. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.